DraftKings, the roller coaster of an NFL season is moving right along, and it promises to be a month full of tricks, treats, and, of course, touchdowns. Like we said every time, Ev is still in our competition. Have you put in your bet yet?
No, I don't want to.
When do you usually do it?
I have 3 names in my head.
Okay.
3 names.
Yeah.
Do any of them play Thursday night?
No.
It's Seattle and the Niners, right?
No.
It's Seattle Niners tomorrow?
Yeah, in Seattle.
I've actually used somebody from both those teams already.
Oh, all right.
I used Mason and Charbonnet already.
Niners are favored by 3.5.
Walker wasn't one of the names that I had in my head, but he, in theory, could be hopefully one down the line, maybe.
Okay.
Hopefully.
How many weeks ahead did you scout?
Not much. I actually was telling Clemmer earlier that I haven't overthought it one bit.
Good.
Like I feel like I've kind of just like had a name in mind, just went with that name, and just kind of like here I am. So I'm kind of trying to just stick with that.
Yeah.
There's 2 names that that when I did my initial look over, there were 2 that I highlighted. Which a couple weeks I had like 2 that I looked at, I guess. But yeah, so I think it's going to be one of those 2 probably.
Good deal.
Running in from the 1 or the 80-yard bomb, we don't care how they score touchdowns. We want them to bet on them. DraftKings heard us and is delivering. You could do a first touchdown. You can literally bet like who's going to score the last touchdown.
Yeah, last touchdown. I mean, even live, you can score like the next touchdown for either team, both for
I'll
just
say
the
it.
game.
That's what I've been doing. I'll bet like my lower bet on the game, and like I have more fun betting responsibly on the touchdowns. It's just way more.
I remember you hit like a next touchdown on one of the streams.
Yeah,
It was
hit a next touchdown, and it's like, wow, look at me. You know.
Well, it's fun to just lock in our like this drive, like this. You're just every like until someone scores, you're in the game.
But it's also in first touchdown's obviously the hardest, but then after the first touchdown, you can kind of like see how the game's been being played, and like if the running game is strong, or if like someone's getting the ball a lot, like Juju, right? Like he didn't score a touchdown, I don't think, but like
I should have too.
But like he was someone you might have bet on next. Here's a reason for new customers to do a touchdown dance of their own. Bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code PICKCENTRAL. That's code PICKCENTRAL for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. We're going to take some calls today, but first we need to talk about the darling Mets against the Phillies. The Mets smoked them yesterday. Absolute smoke job, 7-2. I'm gonna give the floor to Smitty first because he's in a spot where I asked Smitty this question before the cameras were on. I said, is it more embarrassing of like whether if the Phillies lose to the Mets, or is it the same embarrassing as like the Yankees and Royals series? Because I would be embarrassed if we lose to the Royals. I said to him, would it be embarrassing losing? Obviously, the answer is yes, but like how embarrassed?
Very embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's very embarrassing because the way they prepared specifically at the plate for these games and the execution is fucking embarrassing. It is. It's embarrassing. And they need to do a better job of just being prepared and relax. And it's not the easiest thing in the world, but you can't be swinging at sweepers 5 fucking feet off the plate. You can't be swinging at shit in the dirt. It's the playoffs. The Mets are playing perfect, loose, essentially Little League baseball. That's why they're winning. Like, this isn't rocket science here. The Phillies are more talented. I will go to my grave for that. But if they don't hit, it's on them. Like, what do you want? What do you want from us? What do you want from the fans? What do you want from the people? Hit the fucking ball. Like you've been doing it all year. Just get it done.
I watching that game yesterday, I'll get Clemmer's your thoughts in a second. Watching the game yesterday, it reminded me of the Yankees of like their bats aren't good. You know, like they're not. It doesn't seem like they're like. It almost seems like they don't give a fuck for some reason.
They do. They do.
I know they do, but it's just like you're just watching these at bats and they just look like they're not even close to the ball. The Mets are fucking out there. You got Jesse Winker with the fucking grill in his mouth hitting home runs. Like, what the fuck's going on?
There's a couple of things to that. First of all, they care. They care a lot. And this is an extremely likable team with a lot of great people on it. They fucking care. They are pressing it. You see in their faces. Alec Boehm has, 19 pitches seen in 10 at-bats? Mm-hmm. Oh, like, you got to be better,
That's
man.
crazy.
You got to be better. And you see, and I feel bad for him, actually, because you can see it, like, on his face after every swing. They're kind of just like lost out there. So unless something happens where there's a little spark from somebody in the lineup, pitching staff, specifically starting pitching staff, Nola gave up technically 4 runs last night. Ruiz came in with runners on and hit 2, but 5 runs or 2 runs in 5 innings, not great for what Nola's supposed to be, but it's not like it's not an awful start. Like, he came and pitched well enough to win. If they're not putting up any runs for Zach Wheeler or Aaron Nola, what do you expect?
I mean, Minaya deserves it. I mean, Minaya
100%.
shoved yesterday.
100%.
He deserves a ton of credit for that.
He just made $100 million last night.
Yeah, I think he already did. I mean, he was 7th in the National League in ERA last year. $100 million more. He is 32. You're right. Although I think definitely he's going to make $100 million in the free agent. I think you're absolutely right, Smitty. And I give Minaya a lot of credit. He's 7th in NL and ERA. He changed a couple of things. Marty, we were talking about this before the show, like how he's using that sinker a lot more. They had that great graphic before the game, like 1% last year, 40%.
1% last year he threw a sinker. This year, 44%. Wow.
And then halfway through the season, he saw Chris Sale. Meek and I have talked about this a lot. And he started using that sweep more. It's like, if Chris Sale's doing this, why shouldn't I do this? So then you have that combination of that sinker with the sweeper, and he's become a very different pitcher than we've seen of Sean Minaya in the past. And it's made a huge difference. Like, look at the ERA, look at the ability. He also is able to go deeper in games because people were swinging more.
That's the big one. Being able to go like 7 innings, like pretty much from like the second half on, I felt like he was giving us 7 innings to start, like every single time out. And the big at bat yesterday, 5th inning, when it was 2-0, first and second, nobody out.
Yep.
You have Bryce Harper and Nick Castellanos coming up. Bryce Harper strikes out in 3 pitches. I've never seen that before in my
That was
life.
double play, right?
The last pitch, give Minaya credit. That was a wiffle ball.
That was, I'm giving Minaya credit, but like Bryce Harper, I've never seen Bryce Harper just go down that.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen.
And he has to step up too, and he knows that more than anybody.
And Castellanos,
I mean, he had that big home run. And you're like,
He has to step up more. He can't be doing that in that situation, and he knows that. You know that.
There's a
That
moment
does
earlier in
change the game. That's
too.
two down 2-0.
tough.
He gets a hit there. That game's not.
He had a situation in game 1 too where he gotta be better.
Well, earlier in the game, he had first and second 2 outs. He had a dribbler back to Minaya in the 3rd inning.
yeah.
But, I mean,
His only hit came last night when they're essentially pitching around him, and you got a cake.
yeah, Minaya gave up 3
fastball
hits
down
his whole time out. One of them, Tyrone Taylor made a play on Alec Boehm, threw him out second. One of them was an infield hit that honestly could have been an error. And the other one was a Trey Turner clean single. Like, it was as dominant a performance you can get.
No, it saved. It's I don't say it saved our season because who knows how the series is going to go out. But like it definitely, we needed Minaya to go 7 innings because our bullpen was taxed. We were so fucked, and he did exactly that. We used Phil Maton, which whatever. But then Stanek only threw 13 pitches yesterday. So like he went an inning and inning and a third, inning and 2/3.
The guy who pitched the 9th.
Yeah, he only threw 13 pitches and he
Love that
pitched like an inning and a third.
Yeah, I love
like
that.
that goes back to what you're saying. These guys are swing like you're so aggressive.
And that's almost the fundamental point to everything. You know the Mets pitching staff is in this position.
We're in shambles.
Why aren't you just trying to do something? Like, perfect example, Johan Rojas yesterday, what was it, first and second, nobody out? Me and I forget who. Oh, me and Max look at each other. It was like, it's a bunt situation. Let's fucking just do it, get it down, and then get it done. And he tries the bunt, foul it off, and he's swinging. It's like, wait, and I'm not. I know sabermetrics and all of this. You gotta do something to switch shit up, man. You just have to at this point.
Agree.
You're just pressing. That's sad.
And that's what's
Making people sad.
I want to push back a little bit on your thing, Marty, about the embarrassment. And look, I'm no argument. The Phillies are more talented than the Mets. I'm not going to. You're absolutely right. No question about that. But the Mets aren't bad. Like, we have a pretty deep lineup. Francisco Alvarez bats 9th. He's a pretty good hitter. Like, we are a pretty complete team in a lot of ways. I'm not saying we're as talented as the Phillies by any stretch. We don't have a.
You shouldn't have to defend talent when you win.
Yeah.
No, it's more. I think it's more about
Not what I'm
having to
talking
deal with the
about.
fan bases.
I'm talking
Like,
about.
you have to he has to live amongst these Mets fans. Where like Yankees, the Yankees losing the Royals would be more embarrassing in terms of like I think team to team.
True.
But we don't have to deal with Royals fans. I don't know a single Royals fan in person.
There's two, and they're in my DMs, and it's
like the Yankees. We
And he
just
said
the
I'm
Yankees
one of
just hear it from like
Em and Trey Turner.
the other 29.
yeah.
Anytime we lose,
And listen, I'm saying more about this. Clemmer is like the Royals and the Mets have literally had the same exact season. I think they had one more win the Mets in the regular season. Like I think
Yeah.
Like they had that same season where the Mets were not good in May.
No,
And
April
then-
and May were terrible.
And then they hit a really good stride in August and September, and they deserve to be there. I'm not saying that it's embarrassing because they're like a dog shit team. It's just more that the Phillies are. You talk about complete. That's a complete team.
It is.
Complete team.
And,
And
when you're that good and again a team that the Mets are not. Like we're talking, you even admitted the Mets cannot win the World Series before. Like we were talking in the season.
Yeah, no, I wanted them to trade Alonso at the break.
Fine.
I'm like, we gotta do something.
That's why I think baseball's the best, because sometimes there's this black magic that happens, and all of a sudden it's like the Mets are
everything's kind of clicks
scary
in.
team. Yeah, that's where I'm saying it's embarrassing. The Phillies were the best team in baseball in the
Yes.
NL.
I think in baseball, honestly.
They're looking at the third team in their division that you're like, whatever. Yeah, I think that's embarrassing.
All right,
With
that's
the
fair.
Yankees and the Royals, it's like it's embarrassing. We are better than them. You should win.
The similarities to the last 2 years, the Phillies and Braves are there. I still think the Mets are a worse team than the Phillies and Braves the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I'm just on talent alone. Yeah,
But the Braves last year coming in, it's kind of the same situation-ish.
Yeah.
The Braves were a better team than the Phillies this year because they were the most powerful offense of all time, and they just press. And the excuse is, the number one bye seed, you get days off. I'm not using that fucking excuse. I'm not being an Atlanta Braves tender labia. I'm just not going to do it. Figure it out. You people are $1 billion organization. Play simulated games for 4 days if you think that's the problem. What's the problem? Play fucking simulated games.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
I have a question for you because, this pitcher way better than I do. Like, Ranger Suarez pitching tonight. Ranger Suarez had this amazing first half where he was a Cy Young contender. Second half, he's a 5.85 ERA. He hasn't pitched in, a couple weeks now. I'm terrified of going back to Philly and playing against Zach Wheeler.
As you should.
Zach Wheeler is a beast. He was a beast. And Zach Wheeler is terrifying. Ranger Suarez, to me, though, I feel like the Mets' game plan to winning is you pop him in the mouth early. You get to him.
Probably. He's a question mark. If Ranger Suarez comes out and is healthy, he has the ability to pitch like he has his entire postseason career, which is fucking lights out. But if he's still tweaked a little bit, then you might see Ranger Suarez in the second half. But if he's healthy, I'm confident in him.
How long is your leash with him?
Oh, quick. Has to be quick. It's do or die. Yeah. If Wheeler has to pitch today in any situation, you have to put him in.
On the flip side, you should be going to Wheeler over any other relievers because the Mets have hit just about every reliever the Phillies.
Well, then what would you do in Game 5?
You worry about when you get there.
But here's the
They got
issue.
Chris Sanchez for
Wheeler
Game
pitches.
5.
Here is the issue. It doesn't matter what Zach Wheeler does. It doesn't matter what Ranger Suarez does. It doesn't matter what Aaron Nola does. It doesn't matter what the bullpen does. If this lineup doesn't figure it the fuck out, they might as well not even play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Are you nervous about Jose Quintana at all?
No.
He's been really good the last 2 months.
No, I'm not. If
All
the
right.
Phillies figure it out, they should win.
Are you guys going to play Brandon Marsh today against the lefty?
I would assume so.
To me, and you know your team way better than I do. Seeing him in the lineup, honestly, when he was at the lineup, I was like, whew.
Yeah, well,
'Cause I think he's really good. I
was-
don't want to fucking see him. All right, give me Austin Hayes.
he wasn't. Well, Brandon Marsh wasn't really an everyday player when he came to the Phillies and kind of earned that spot, specifically against left-handers. They benched him purposely, left-handers, until this year when they really had no one else to put out there, and he kind of earned it. He earned it. So I would put him out there again. Manai is a different left-hander with that sweeper. It's just kind of more unhittable. So I get that why you wouldn't go a lefty lineup other than Schwarber and Harper, but against Quintana, you have to put your best players in. You just have to.
Brandon Marsh versus left-handed pitching this year. 192 average, 270 on base, 282 slug, 552 OPS in 90 plate appearances.
And like I said, that's better than what he was.
Jesus, he must torture righties then. What is that slash line against righties then?
262, 342, 450, 792 OPS.
better.
But he's also one of those guys that's kind of like a spark plug gamer. He's one of those guys that Rob Thompson was saying, that's why I put Edmundo Sosa in the lineup. So I have no problem with Brandon Marsh being there today.
I also just have to point out yesterday, you sitting down and the first pitch being a Pete Alonso home run could not have been scripted any better.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
Brandon Marsh, what Brandon Marsh reminds me a lot of is Trot Nixon. Couldn't hit lefties, really good. Yeah, but really good guy in the clubhouse, like a spark plug kind of guy, will hustle for everything. I just see never the best player on the team, but a really good guy to have. It reminds me a lot. They're very similar players, and I like Trot Nixon a lot.
Pretty sure he was an all-state quarterback in Georgia, too.
I was going to say, shout out Trot Nixon getting a shout out on today's
Yeah,
show.
right?
Nixon was not on the Nixon card.
Honestly, all great baseball names.
What do you
as
think
well.
that was? Plus,
Trot Nixon?
Trot Nixon, man.
It's like a name in a movie.
What do you think that was?
Trot Nixon.
He was awesome.
Trot Nixon, you would think hits dingers. This one, Doesn't
What do you think? That was 14-1. Trot Nixon on the show today.
Oh, more higher than that.
Way higher.
No, with you.
Hey,
No,
well, that's
with
true.
you, I don't know.
Anything's a play.
Anything with you, it could be random ass
playoffs.
But
like,
if you're younger and you never saw Trot Nixon, Brandon Marsh is very similar, which is a credit to Trot Nixon.
Shout out Trot Nixon.
Trot Nixon was my favorite baseball player growing up.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Way.
No, it
Yeah, I
wasn't.
swear to God.
No, it wasn't.
What year were you born?
1998.
All right, like 6, 7, I guess.
I loved him on the 2004 team.
All right.
No one's favorite player was Trot
Oh,
Nixon.
you know
it
they
was-
will. Oh
it
no, you're
was-
wrong, Marty.
yeah.
You are wrong.
No.
No. People, because he hustled. People loved him, right? Dukes, back me up.
I remember him very well. Like I
remember him too, but I don't know
The Red Sox
favorite.
forever.
No, I was living in New England at the time. People, because he was, they called him the Dirt Dog.
No, they
People
did
loved
like
him.
people like Trot Nixon.
He was like a
definitely a name.
Like he's like
because he was on the Red Sox. They were good for all they.
Yeah,
obviously
David
ended up winning,
Ortiz
but-
was on.
yeah, but
I'm
doesn't
saying but you knew like
That
they were
was
like one of the
everyone's
best
favorite
teams.
player.
didn't Yankee play? Didn't the Yankee fans like Brett Gardner? It's that kind of thing where like this guy that hustles, never the best player, but you
They
just
got
love
angry
him.
from that.
But Trot Nixon was like a big name. If you,
Yeah.
I know.
I thought
Trot
he was a
Nixon.
Hall of Famer until like 5 years ago.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Dude, I hated Brett Gardner until you look up his backstory. How he like walked on to college of Charleston.
Yeah, no,
and,
he's
like,
awesome.
fought
See, it's the same kind of
all the way
thing.
up.
actually, you want to
still hate
know what?
Gardner was a better
He
player,
hung
but
around
it's
a little
close.
too long.
He
Brett
did.
Gardner.
He
That's
did.
the only thing I was.
I just
upset
looked it up.
about.
He's a Red Sox Hall of Famer. Like that wasn't crazy of me.
You want to know what?
Well, I mean, no, big difference between Red Sox Hall of Fame and Cooperstown Hall of Fame.
No, but like the fact that
No,
like
but that's fair.
yeah,
Your
he should.
favorite player of all time. Like my favorite player of all time will probably be like Darren Dalton. He's not a.
No,
Wait. I also want to say he's not my favorite player of all time. He was my favorite player for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Darren Dalton.
One of my favorite player. One of my favorite. It was Lenny Dykstra, but it can't be anymore. So now it's Darren Dalton.
Darren Dalton.
Drop one.
Darren Dalton's last game in the major leagues was Game 7 of the World Series. He got a cleanup. How many guys can say that?
Good for him.
Pretty good, and they
He
won.
got a ring.
and they won
All
that
right.
World Series.
All right, let's.
Hold on,
get
I gotta give one more Trot. Just a fun fact on Trot. You want to Trot
This
Nixon?
is good stuff. Marty hates.
No, hold on. You want to know what Trot?
No, when we're in the biggest series of all, like we're in the playoffs.
Fucking
I
Darren
have to
Dalton.
say-
This is great.
Let's keep talking Trot Nixon.
Yeah, it's
no.
Keep it off the Phillies. Let's talk Trot Nixon.
I will not move on until I say what Trot Nixon is up to right now.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Trot Nixon currently serves as the co-host / analyst for The Fifth Quarter, a high school football highlight show.
I love it.
On a local TV station in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Does his son play for the team? It's got to be, right?
He's from Durham, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Originally, he was born
They
there.
got to have his son on.
I wonder if he
there.
wants to come on Pick Central.
Yeah.
Let's get Trot on.
That'd be great. Oh, Dukes would love that. That'd be
Dudes,
awesome.
Yeah, dudes. What do you think of Coco Crisp?
For the record, he has
Hard to
two.
bat like him.
Coco Crisp. Now that's a guy.
That's why I wasn't good
was
at baseball.
awesome.
I just like
Oh, Trot Nixon was better than Coco.
Oh, Coco was awesome.
He was fast.
No, I'm not even kidding. That's why I sucked at baseball, especially like hitting. Is I used to switch my stance every single time I went up to bat. Like I'd be like, all right, today I'll be a Coco Crisp.
Neither of both his sons are 20 and 23. So no, he's doing
Oh,
it.
maybe they did play that team.
He's
though.
doing it. Yeah, they might have. He's just back in where he grew up. Just went back to Durham, North
That's
Carolina,
great.
just doing local TV.
I bet he's living a great life.
High school football highlight shows incredible.
I love that.
Awesome. Probably just like his kids and his kids'
Imagine
friends.
just flipping through the channels. You're just in Wilmington. You're like, is that Trot Nixon?
Who was one of your favorite? Who was one of your favorite Yankees? That's not a name. Not
probably like
Barrett.
Shane Spencer.
He 98 Shane Spencer. You look at his stats in 98. Unbelievable.
It's a big Shane Spencer guy.
He slogged like 800.
Mine was Shelly Duncan.
Oh, another guy
a
who
good
had
one.
some big hits.
Loved Shelly Duncan. He used to like break people's elbows after he had a home run. He'd just come in smashing everybody like that. Yeah.
They still do that now. Like Judge still.
Yeah, no,
he
Judge at
scares
least,
me.
Judge is lighter than
Shelly Duncan
Shelley
passed away, or his
No,
brother passed
Shelley's-
away.
I think Shelly's still.
His brother might have. Yeah, it's very sad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dying sad.
Very, they were young though. They were young men.
Very sad.
Shane Spencer's hit tanks.
Yeah. Meek Clemmer, you lose today. Is the series over?
No, it's not over, but we're in a very different spot than we are right now.
I don't see a way you.
Well, we won game 1 again.
What did I say to you
I know.
guys
Game
before
5
the
and
show?
game 1's very different.
It isn't. It isn't.
It definitely is.
Whoever wins this game, if the Mets win this game, they're going to the World Series. If the Phillies win this game, they're winning the World Series.
Listen,
I think I believe that.
Padres are really
The
good.
Padres are really good.
Good.
Like, we can't
I'm glad
discount
they're very
them.
good. I'm glad they're very good.
Phillies are really good too.
If the Phillies win today and Game 5, they will have the momentum they need back.
I mean, it's a small sample, but Fernando Tatis Jr. is already like one of the best playoff hitters of all time.
And also, Joe Musgrove's out for a 7-game series.
Well, that's the weird decision. Whereas tonight, Game 4, the Padres are using Dylan Cease on short rest, and the Dodgers going to a bullpen game.
I really don't like the Dodgers using Cease on short rest. I pitched Martin Perez. He's had a 3.18 ERA for them this year. He's been okay. Go with that. Why? And then you have Cease on regular rest. I don't understand this decision at all. Horrible panic decision, if you ask me.
It's a wild thing to say. Like, the Dodgers spent $1 billion last offseason, and their season comes down to a bullpen game.
I said the same thing, Phil, but when you go through Glasnow being hurt,
but this is every year with
Kershaw being but dude,
This is different, man.
5 pitchers getting hurt is
Bobby Miller.
They get guys
being
getting hurt all the
ineffective.
time. Bobby
five
Miller
pitchers.
wasn't hurt. He's just bad.
You are right.
Bad because
Last year they had
hurt.
guys a lot. I mean, Arias, he was gone, but everybody else was just hurt, right?
Gavin Stone.
I think it goes back to like the Dodgers, like just their organizational philosophy when it comes to pitching, where they value velocity and they don't care if you blow your arm out. And then by the time October runs around, you don't have any pitchers.
That's fair.
I think it goes back to that.
That's a more fair thing. But also, you can't control injuries, so it's like, yeah, it's not like one guy got hurt and they're like, well now we're fucked. 4 guys.
Stone.
Glasnow and Stone are very
that's
good
huge.
pitchers.
And then Kershaw. I mean, they knew they were getting damaged goods when they signed him, but still.
Kershaw, I'd forget about. We're not counting him. But like, yeah, Stone and Glasnow.
well,
but
you
like,
could-
Why?
You
He
still
made
count.
7 starts to them. He was someone they wanted to have in the postseason.
but he's also old. Like, he hasn't pitched a full season in like a decade.
This is
true.
why the young generations they just throw out the olds.
Oh, you think so?
I love Clayton Kershaw. That's why I don't like.
No,
when
he's
people
he's
talk
an all-time
bad about him.
first ballot Hall of Famer, inner circle Hall of Famer, but he's an old player that hasn't been healthy in the
Also,
playoffs
Walker
in a while.
Buehler, he's been bad because he's been hurt.
Well, that's just a different case. He's coming off Tommy John surgery from 2 years ago.
Yes.
And it's not that he's hurting. He's just bad in his current form. He's not the Walker Buehler. He thinks he has 98-mile-per-hour fastball. He can just gas it up and blow by hitters. And he doesn't have it anymore. He throws 92 miles an hour. Fernando Tatis
Not
takes that deep.
92.
You're right.
He throws 95, but
Well, that 95 looks like 92.
well, no, it's
But Phil's right. Phil is mostly right there.
Mostly.
He needs to readjust how he's pitching if he wants to be effective, and he hasn't been effective all year. So.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually want to take this call real fast. It's a Royals fan.
Oh.
So he might be one of the two in my DMs. Steven, what's going on, Steven?
Oh, Kansas City, born and raised, fellas.
Go get him, Steven.
Game 1, in my opinion, Yankees got lucky. 8 walks.
That
If we
seems
didn't have
like
those 8
bad. That
walks,
seems like bad pitching to me.
I mean, bases loaded, 2 walks. You guys scored 2 runs. You guys won by 1.
Yeah, it sounds like bad pitching.
And then number 2, you know who Rondon reminds me of?
Who?
Have you guys seen The Blind Side, the movie?
Yep.
You know the guy who's hyping everyone up. You know, tell Michael Orr that. You know, he's never seen anything like this. Kind of like when he's sticking his tongue out, and you know what Salvi does? Freaking hits a nuke.
What just happened there?
He was just saying how Rodon talks all this shit, and
Where the blind side come?
well, no, he was just.
I know the guy he was referencing,
Yeah.
the DN from the one game they
Salvador Perez kind of shoved it up.
Salvador
Right up his ass.
It's 1-1. You're gonna get smoked today and then smoked tomorrow.
And then, I mean, Jazz is just fueling the fire for this homestand that you're about to experience.
I actually don't. I'm sorry to cut you off. I think at this point, if you need bulletin board material, like we're in game 3. You know, I don't think you need bulletin board. It's the playoffs. Like I feel like Jazz is like he shouldn't have said lucky, but I'm with him. I love that. That sounds like the boys are ready to go now.
I mean, in my opinion, I mean, of course you don't need bulletin board material, but just fueling the fire of a homestand that you guys about to take. The city's buzzing. First playoff game since 2015. To possibly get a ticket here.
Can I ask a real question? Do you think people are scared to play in Kansas City? It's a true question. I'm not even trolling either. Like, is it a scary place to play?
I mean, playoffs, yes, because it's just going to be like Arrowhead atmosphere. I mean, it's in the same parking lot. People are getting there early. I mean, regular season for Royals, no. But, I mean, playoff atmosphere, yes. And I went to the 2014 and 2015 playoffs, and it was electric.
Okay.
I think it's more about their home and away splits than the crowd.
I agree.
Yeah, but our away splits are good.
No, I said in the stream I like that for us, but I mean theirs are like night and day.
Bobby Witts are insane.
Yeah, literally night and day home.
Bobby Witt's getting getting Astros calls.
That's why I like the over today in that game. I think they both hit.
I gotta agree with Steven a little bit here too. But the Yankees were lucky to win Game 1. Like that's. Whoever won that game was kind of lucky because there were so many lead changes. But the Yankees coming out of that with a W is fortunate.
But then the Royals could be lucky to win Game 2.
No, they dominated Game 2. No, not at all. No, the Royals clearly. No, you're wrong. The Royals clearly won Game 2. How do you not at least acknowledge that?
They won, but it's lucky is a word where they left a lot of guys on base.
Say fortunate then. Maybe fortunate's a better word.
Yeah, fortunate. I don't think.
I don't love the word lucky.
I don't know how.
Fortunate.
Why is the Yankees lucky to win Game 1 when the pitchers are just throwing balls in?
Because whoever won that game is fortunate because there were so many lead changes. I felt like it was a very up and down game. So because of that, if you come out of that with a W, that's a whew. Game 2 is clearly Royals.
Yeah, I mean they have this, what 12-5
that's fine. I don't.
Yeah.
Lucky is like that's just what baseball is. I don't think. Obviously, Jazz was wrong when he said lucky, but I like when players speak their mind like that instead of just being like, "We got to be better, got to do this." Just be like, "Fuck it." He basically was saying we're the Yankees. Like we're gonna win this game.
He also he got a
better team.
I think he had a little post ninth inning home run adrenaline.
He also tweeted.
I think he was feeling himself, and he was like, like the bats are back, boys. Like we're coming.
Can you guys do me a favor real fast? Can you pull up Jazz's Twitter? It was kind of funny last night. He's trolling on Twitter after we lost. It's like crazy.
I mean, Jordan said it. People who talk shit when it's tied or you're down, those are.
Yeah, and I like
it separates. It's easy to talk shit when you're winning.
I like it. Listen,
he basically said the real ones talk shit when it's tied or when you're losing.
I also said like it almost like showed the Yankees that you can't coast through this series. Like it's gotta we gotta show up now. You know,
that's gotta show up big time.
Yeah, Bats gotta show up, and I think they're pulling it up right now.
Jazz Chisholm.
So Jazz retweeted, "Does MLB deserve to win-o-meter?"
That's funny.
Royals are luck merchants.
That's kind of funny.
It was so funny, dude. The name of MLB deserve to win-o-meter is so funny.
Also, I know there is no chance he actually really understands what it says in that chart.
No.
I don't really. I mean, I do, but I don't.
It's to the Yankees.
Like that's what you don't even read the charts. You just look at it and you're like, you know what? Yeah, we should.
We should have won, yeah.
Retweet.
It said the Yankees had a 72%. They had a 72% chance to win. Still, it made no sense.
Hilarious.
But Jazz retweeted. Any guy he tweeted, he's like, "I'm gonna. All right, now I'm done trolling. I'll get off now." But yeah, listen. We need to win today. Obviously, I'm confident in Clark Schmidt. I actually said that more confident in Clark than Luis Hill because Luis he can give us 7 dominant innings, or he can have a really bad first inning, and we are fucked. I think Clark mentally and throws more strikes, and I think that I'm more confident in him right now. And again, I'm okay with having Luis Hill when we're up 2-1 in the 4th game.
The argument that Clark Schmidt is steadier is definitely fair.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Definitely fair. It's skill. He just was more. I mean, he obviously just pitched a lot more this season.
I'm not terrified of Seth. Like Cole Reagans, I'm terrified.
You guys go back to Cole for Game 4 anyway, though, right?
I don't know.
That's what I was gonna point out.
I don't know though. I think that they literally may go Luis Hill.
I would be shocked. I have to imagine they go to Cole.
They were talking about it. It's the only reason why.
Really? That would really surprise me.
Just because then maybe you can leave Cole like that. And that saying is like, we can leave. We're gonna win with Luis Hill. We'll have.
You can save Cole for the next round.
Next round, more help, more.
Or Game 5 back at home.
Or Game 5.
Or Game 5 back at home instead.
But you do have that luxury.
Let me tell you, I think it makes more sense Luis Hill 4 if we win, because
you have some in your back pocket.
Game 5, I'm not having Carlos Rodon start Game 5.
That's fair.
That's what
I agree with it too.
Yeah,
that's fair.
If we win, it's if we win.
If we win, if we lose, it's
Game
Cole.
4.
It's Cole's Game 4. But yeah, I think if you guys write this second World Series, who is it?
I mean, I think it's the Mets are so hot,
bro. It's hard. It's hard not to say
because I was struggling. I wanted to say the Padres because the Padres are just. I think the starting pitching losing Musgrove really hurts because with them they had such a strong staff and the bats are just on fire. So it was hard. I mean, the Padres and Mets are both just on fire.
Darvish looked really good.
I just think they're on the Mets and Padres. I think are on a collision course to have an incredible NLCS. And then I think it's the Yankees and the other one's such a crapshoot. The Tigers are so fun. I almost would like to see them win. But I also, as a Yankees fan, if we win, I selfishly would like to see them because I think they have a 7-game series. They'll struggle.
I know the Tigers, up until this morning, hadn't even announced their starting pitcher for today. I don't know.
I think they did. I think it's Montero. I think it's starting off the game. Montero,
right.
I believe, started off the game.
It's going to be a bullpen game then, obviously.
I took the under.
Yeah, it is Montero.
I took the under in that game. 7.
Yeah, I'm going Yankees and Phillies or Mets.
You got to pick one. That's the whole
I'm
thing.
going to go Yankees, Mets. I don't know how the Mets lose. It's fucking crazy right
I
now.
love that. To be honest with you.
I honestly, if I think if the Phillies win today, though, it's over. Like, I don't think the Mets have any.
I
disagree.
I don't think that. Yeah,
I do.
This Mets team has been so resilient. They have done enough. I mean, they've been down to their last outs.
Yeah, 2 outs.
Multiple times. And
Alonso.
the obviously the Braves game 160. I guess technically 161.
Yep.
And then
and then against the
this
Brewers.
team is so resilient. Like even the Brewers game, they're crazy. They lose the game, they still come back, win the next one. I don't know. I'll just never count this team out.
Yeah,
This
there's
2024 Mets team, I'll never count them out.
There's some mojo going on for sure, and I definitely take those Destiny vibes into consideration. The game 1, seeing them trail 1-0, and then in the 8th inning just hit every 0-2 pitch as hard as possible to get 5 runs. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. The way it happened.
They don't quit. Like they don't get work. Like
On
they
singles too.
They just don't quit. They just don't see, like they're down 2 runs in the top of the 9th. Like they're just like, let's go get 2 runs. Fuck it.
Meek, what were you saying about their advanced bullpen scouting?
I think they have a tip on like certain relievers to where like if a guy throws 2 or 3 pitches, they have a good advanced scouting to know like what's coming. Whereas, like you saw game 1, every Phillies reliever they tossed out there, it felt like they knew what was coming.
All-stars.
All-stars. Devin Williams on Thursday night, it felt like he was giving pitches.
Yep.
You can go back to the Braves game, game 161. Joey Menez, Raisel Iglesias, Pierce Johnson's like
Something's up. It's weird. It's
they
weird.
do
You hear a lot of trash cans in the background, ironically.
I think extensive scouting on relievers.
No, I mean the first.
it is. It's
the
good
first
scouting.
thing Steve Cohen did was when he took over the team was we had the worst scouting department in baseball because Wilpons weren't spending money on it. So the first thing he did was go in and he just got a bunch of scouts, got the analytics, got like basically had to build it from scratch because the Wilpons were so cheap and worthless.
Let me ask you guys a question about before we go on to some football and these callers. Tigers Guardians say the Tigers are minus 115. It's Alex Cobb, I think.
Yep. Yeah, it's Alex Cobb.
Yep.
Okay.
Kind of why he had 3 starts and they were good.
So he was the big trade deadline move, remember?
He was like
because the Guardians' ownership is so great. Instead of going and getting Blake Snell, and got Alex Cobb.
I believe in 3 starts he had like a 2.76 ERA.
Alex.
It was obviously very small sample size, but good.
He just kept getting hurt. I mean, he was hurt when they got him.
Cobb,
He had a hip injury when they got him.
When I
He
saw
was
his
he was
name,
good, and he was good before. Like on the Giants, he was good.
Last year. Yeah, a year
but
ago.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
was
but
he
I'm
on
saying
the Rays too.
Oh, yeah. He came up with the Rays.
All right. I thought he was good then. I don't know. I saw Alex Cobb.
like I said, he came back and he's pitched pretty well. I don't like. I mean, there's
Three
worse.
games.
But I mean, it's like
It's
pretty
not
much,
like-
but it's pretty much like what you've seen of him. I mean, he's been good. I mean,
He hasn't pitched since September 1st.
I just kind of like, it's a little bit
That's
of
a lot. That's a long time.
And he was dominant.
Sure, but every time you've seen him, like he's been good the last couple years.
All I'm saying is this game's at 3 today.
Yep.
It's 3, 5, 7, and
I
9.
love that. That's why this is.
It's just the
every day.
best. Day baseball is playoff baseball is fantastic.
It really is. This is just seeing Alex Cobb as your third. I'm going with the Tigers. You have.
I mean, the Tigers are going bullpen game. Like it's not like they're like
No, I know.
they only got 1 Scooble. Like he can like.
He should just try and pitch every day.
So Montero can give you length. He has started games. You know, he did pitch 98 innings this year, 16 starts, 19 games. Excuse me. So he can give you some length, but you're right. This is going to mostly be a game won or lost by the bullpen.
I think this is gonna be a shit show of a game. I'm going over.
Yeah, I think it's under. I think
Tough for those offenses,
I'm
though.
going
Yeah,
over.
those offenses are.
I just
bad.
think that neither of the offenses are that good. Yeah, I just think this is like a 3-2 game. I mean,
could see that.
Yeah, but when I say
1, I mean, that's kind of what the series has been. It's been like who kind of has the big break late.
What's the worst World Series matchup right now?
The
It's
worst-
one of those two teams, probably.
I think it's the
one of those
Probably-
teams,
Or the Royals, maybe.
probably.
No, I think the
Royals are
would be a
more
little
exciting.
No,
Yeah.
I was going to say Guardians.
I say Guardians because
Guardians
I
would be the
think
worst.
Tigers have Scooble.
Yes, I think it's
the Guardians do have
and-
Ramirez. I think Ramirez is the most underrated player in the game because he doesn't get any
fair.
shine.
He doesn't.
Guardians
Penny.
Padres would be
The
awful.
Guardians have the great bullpen. That doesn't get any shine either.
Great bullpen.
I think Guardians Padres would be awful.
Yeah, it would. Oh yeah, it would.
See, it's weird because as a true baseball fan,
That's the worst matchup.
As a true, as like for ratings, that's totally the right
Yeah.
answer. I think, or you could argue the Tigers either way, but to me as to watch, I think Guardians Dodgers almost might be you have Ohtani obviously, but the pitching's so bad. Like they're pitching so bad.
I agree with you, Ev. I think,
I think Padres are a more exciting team.
Yeah, they are.
They have an
They're
electric
exciting.
lineup and they have an electric starting rotation.
Well, honestly,
even
like-
without Musgrove.
The Dodgers kind of went ugly.
That's what I'm saying. Like they have Otani. Without Otani,
And
they're
Mookie.
like, who the fuck wants to watch the Dodgers play with this team right
Listen,
now?
we're close.
With the injuries and
Mookie
everything. without
Betts.
Otani.
Mookie Betts. But Freeman's ankle's all fucked up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, Mookie finally hits
Let's
the
be
home run
honest.
yesterday.
The Mets have the voodoo and all this great stuff, but Guardians Mets would be disgusting as
Yeah,
well.
it would.
I don't.
But the Mets have,
Oh, you
Mets have an
you'd be
exciting
happy,
football right now.
obviously.
Yeah,
but,
you-
like,
I'm
it
biased,
would be-
obviously.
Think of a guy then
You'd
fucking
be ecstatic.
Yeah.
I think you win that series.
Think
Yeah.
about a
Oh, I'm
guy
biased.
in
I mean,
a
I-
random-
I think you should be correct.
Imagine
think
a
the-
guy in Oklahoma watching baseball. And he's like the World Series, the Guardians and the Mets.
Nobody in
Like,
Oklahoma's watching anything.
But the Mets, this Mets team is exciting though.
Yeah,
They've
is.
become exciting.
But you have to say a team, and those two teams are not a team you want to watch in the world. We're talking about the World Series.
But I think, like to Ev's point, though, I think the
Dodgers
Mets
are
are much
throwing
more fun to watch than the Dodgers.
Dodgers are just don't have these ass
yeah,
pitchers.
but you still got Shohei Ohtani is literally.
Pete Alonso, Francisco Lindor. He's not Ohtani, I know, but
I was just take a step back.
it's not
When I
right.
say Ohtani, you can't say
Ohtani is
Pete Alonso
Ohtani
cannot
is
be the
here.
next name.
Ohtani's here, but I'm saying the Mets do have some stars, though. It's on my only point.
Yes, but no matter what, Shohei Ohtani, I think.
Shohei Ohtani is in its own
If
universe.
the Dodgers are in the World Series, no matter what, it's the Dodgers in the World Series. People are going to want to watch.
I think it'd be more exciting if he was hitting and pitching.
You guys are talking about because you guys are baseball fans. I'm talking about worldwide. What is the worst matchup? Guardians and Mets might be the worst.
No, Guardians and Padres would be.
Yeah, I would agree. For viewership, Guardians, Padres.
But Padres also do have some
Tatis and very exciting players.
Machado and-
Machado.
Darvish
Xander Bogaerts.
and Cease. Like they do have. I don't know, but regardless, before I get to these callers, why didn't you answer my text in the Pick Central group chat?
What was the question you asked? To answer something, a question must be.
No.
What was the question you asked?
Question it should have been, and when it says wild on the tweet, hashtag Giants quarterback Daniel Jones has outplayed hashtag Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers. So that to me is like I'm telling my friend that my quarterback's playing better than him.
What was the
that
answer?
didn't end in a question mark.
What was the answer to that then?
No, I'm just setting a fact, and usually
Okay, that's
Okay.
two separate things.
usually answer a fact.
No, you don't.
When I text you a fact, you're never gonna answer.
It depends on the fact.
Exactly.
I have
Ryan Jansen's
nothing to
fact.
say. I have nothing to add to that conversation.
No one answered actually.
Yeah.
Even my own fellow Giant fan didn't answer.
Well, I mean, you said it's just a fact. What's their?
Like yeah,
I think
That's pretty
I
cool.
think Clemmer not defending it. He's accepting it as fact.
yeah. I think you're
I
accepting.
didn't argue it.
Yeah, so you're
Yeah,
accepting.
that's.
How do you argue the 5 games? If you listed it out, the stats are there. I take it. And I'm like, all right, I'll put that in my back pocket for later, because I'm a vindictive fuck, and then I move on with my day.
Phil, you think it's gonna get better?
Yes, I do.
Honestly, I applaud you for having misery for 40 years of your life watching this team and still think it's gonna get better.
Would the Jets be better? Would the Jets be better or worse with Daniel Jones as their
It would
quarterback?
be worse.
Better. Right, and you look.
Look at that last game, man.
Stats.
Look,
Stats.
stats. 5 games. Look at the stats for his career. Then you want to do stats.
Well, you can't.
Oh,
look at
you
the full
can't do.
picture.
Look at Aaron Rodgers' stats or his career against Johnny Unitas.
No, how about Aaron Rodgers versus Daniel Jones?
That's still not a comparison. Aaron Rodgers has been here since 2001.
How about since Daniel Jones' career started then?
Okay.
We're talking about this year.
This year, right now. This
5
team.
games.
No, you say nothing matters. It's different teams, and nothing matters besides right now. You always say that. Nothing matters. Like,
never say that. I use history as a.
5 years ago, do not matter.
Well, no. Here's when I say it doesn't matter. You don't understand things.
No,
when you're like something happened in when you say something happened in 2009 when none of the players in the teams were on these, like when they had entirely different rosters, then it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. When we're talking about the players 5 years ago, the exact players, then it does matter to some extent.
Doesn't it? But what about since Rodgers has been injured?
Sure.
Rodgers also
Fair.
just on a totally different team than he was. Like this is
Absolutely.
the first year,
and he's in. And to Dukes' point, he's in a different physical situation. I'll ask you guys this then.
Yep.
Who would you rather have start this week for your team? Aaron Rodgers or Daniel Jones? Answer honestly. I say Aaron Rodgers. I believe that.
Honestly,
Yes.
Daniel Jones.
Okay.
Honestly.
How about you,
Swear to
Ev?
God.
Let's ask the Giants
to
guy.
God.
Let's ask who would you rather and be.
Swear to God.
Answer honestly.
That's.
Well, I gotta say, let's let Ev have the 4.
The thing I'll say about I've said a few times, and Meek has even agreed with me. The best Giants offensive line in probably the last at least 6 years, probably maybe more. Seeing Rodgers behind that pocket would be interesting.
Shots fired,
That's all
Justin
I'm
Pugh, huh?
I think that's correct. I don't think right now Roger looks lost.
One game.
My thing
Fate
with
of the
the
universe
Jets
on the
offensive
line?
line, I think the Jets offensive line is bad. And I think the Giants has gotten to the point where it's at like at least.
So when the
average, if
Giants,
not like,
but this
slightly
is where
above
I get
average.
upset about the lines and shit. Now it's okay for Aaron
let's
Rodgers.
put-
but
actually,
not
no.
for Daniel
Why don't
Jones.
we- why don't we put a poll out? Let's put a poll out.
Let me
Do this
explain my
every
thought.
time.
The theory is like I need to like the question is like envision like switch the teams. Like let me put Aaron Rodgers with this football team. Like what does he look like with a Giants uniform on with this team? And I feel like he probably looks pretty good.
It's just he doesn't look.
But we've seen Jones play better too. Like I think Jones with a clean pocket. It's like he throws the ball well.
One guy's
So
playing.
I give Jones a lot of credit. Like I think we're seeing some of the like if you actually give him like a competent offensive line and a competent receiving core, which even the last game you could argue he didn't have. I think Wendell's like came on has been a really good slot guy. Slayton kind of showed you a little bit. Hey, like I'm still can be a guy. And when Neighbors is there, like he's looked great. So I mean,
to be honest, I think one guy's playing.
I think it's the debate. It's a legitimate debate. I really believe it's close.
which is crazy.
Stage.
The fact that there's a debate is also.
I agree with that.
It's a crazy thing.
The stats too. I will say the stats here are very close. Now, Daniel Jones has the edge for sure, but it's an edge.
One's better than
And even I
an edge.
want to argue for Jones. The pick too was like I think at least the one was like a Hail Mary at the end of the game.
Yeah, it was
So he really he has not turned the ball over much.
at all.
And that's what his
his
biggest
problem.
success
Yes.
was during that playoff year.
I think he had 5 picks the whole
Yeah.
the whole season.
But I think everyone except for Marty would rather. I don't want to speak for you guys. Would rather have Aaron Rodgers this week
Dukes.
than Daniel Jones.
Dukes, can you put out a poll on Pick Central?
Yes, please do.
No, people are just. He's a meme quarterback. People hate on him for no reason right now. This season, there is a reason.
Rodgers will win the vote 70-30.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, put it out.
I'll win the vote, but I actually think it's closer than 70-30 in real life.
It is.
There's a lot of non.
But I think you'd have to still lean Rodgers. Just
I think if
like,
you know ball, you would still
No, I'd
say
say-
Aaron
I think
Rodgers
you
or
have to.
Daniel
No,
Jones.
I think you have to, but it's close.
I think if there's a way to get ball knowers just to poll it, I think it would be like 55-45 Rodgers.
Yeah.
60-40.
That's more where
I'm
I see
okay
it.
with
That's
that.
more
Right, but how
I
about this
kinda see
room?
it.
What do you say, Dukes? Rodgers or Daniel Jones? Your life depends on it.
I think he just kind of said it. I think he agrees
Close
with me.
though.
I don't care if it's close.
Close.
We need an
I
answer.
think-
It is. I
that's
think
the vibe I'm getting
I
with
was
Dukes.
gonna say Daniel Jones.
Oh,
just,
wow.
Just based off of the fact that he can run from a shitty. Like you were saying,
Sure.
Rodgers in a
He's
clean
more
pocket.
mobile, yeah.
I was like, at least in the Jets' offensive line, he can run now.
That's true.
It
fair.
is
Poll is
very-
out on Twitter, by the way.
Again, I mean,
Thanks, Phil.
Good job, Phil.
Go vote.
Clemmer, I'll say this: if it was a random fucking NFL Week 8 game, I'm taking Daniel Jones right now. If it's a wild card game, I'm taking Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
That's
I think it's a reasonable answer because that's
and
pretty
again,
much where
like this.
stand.
I disagree,
change-
but I understand where he's
this
coming
could
from.
change in like 2 weeks.
And hand up, Aaron Rodgers looks a little more mobile.
a little bit more.
A little bit more.
But not what he was.
Not much, but enough to get
More than
1 yard a game.
Yes.
More than week one, but
Because what he does is I feel like this season, like the touchdown he threw at the end of the first half against the Vikings, that play, that was like he moved around, like comes back, throws. I was like, okay, like that was like throws Lazard, makes like a big time throw on the move, and I was like, okay, like that's like vintage Aaron Rodgers. But then you do see like the little bit of the like can't quite like kick in this like that second gear like he used to.
You guys remember last time Daniel Jones and Aaron Rodgers met up in London? That was probably the best game of his career, right?
I'm embarrassed to say I almost shed like real tears after that game.
I was
because we had a stream after
around.
here. I sat in my apartment by myself in the dark at like 11 in the morning, and because it was the first time in like 6 years, I was like, oh my god, like we're competent again. Like we're like a real like I could have like pride in this football team.
That
for the first
Packers
time
game was
in legitimately 5 years.
There's nothing wrong with crying when your team wins. Just remember that.
I legitimately it was the first time since like it was the McAdoo playoff year.
It was unbelievable.
And I was like, this team has like any sort of like a pulse.
That game I remember specifically is we were in Pittsburgh doing an event with like Roan and Tarani and a couple other people, and we're watching it, and we're like, oh, it's Aaron Rodgers, this Giants. Let's keep live betting. Like, they'll come back. They'll come back in the fourth quarter. That's when I kind of knew Aaron Rodgers.
It's so,
Also, the Giants defense played their ass off in that game.
It's so
Big
sad
time.
that I
The defense
remember.
played their ass off.
You shouldn't remember where you are in a regular season game. And I remember
Oh,
exactly
yeah.
where I was, and it's
I'll never
the saddest
forget
thing
it.
in
Yep.
the world. I was in my parents'
It's a
pool.
great game.
I'll never forget it. Not a light on in my apartment.
Let's take these calls so
Dark.
we can.
Underwear and a t-shirt.
Can I show one thing? I haven't
Actually,
even-
probably no t-shirt.
So depressing.
Probably just honestly probably underwear and no shirt on the couch.
I have no reason to talk
Tears
about the
streaming down
Patriots.
my face. A regular season win in week like 5. It's 11. It's like 12 p.m.
I completely understand. Actually, it's so sad my team is. I was like, oh,
Wiped off my tears, threw on a shirt and shorts, and got an Uber to the city to stream. What a day!
I've had no reason to talk about the Patriots, obviously, but this is one of the funniest graphics I've ever seen. I think 4 out of their 6 captains are not playing anymore.
Oh my god!
David Andrews out, Peppers out,
The loading-
Bentley out.
The loading
Brissett
on
bench.
Brissett is so
We got
funny.
a long snapper and Deatrick Weiss. That's
Oh
it.
man!
David Andrews is out for the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, getting surgery.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Or he got surgery. I know he's getting it or has gotten it.
Honestly, it would have been if he played in the playoffs in the dozen. I think it would have at least.
I would say that's pretty. You didn't send your guy a text. You're like, hey,
I did.
you didn't
No
know
answer.
if you
No
know if he
answer.
was playing. You could see
He
that.
didn't answer.
Oh.
I gave him a text. No answer.
That's good, though. You don't want him to answer.
No.
I think I want him to answer when the season's over.
Yeah.
He's got nothing going on anymore besides just having the surgery
He's
and
got a
the
podcast.
after. But
He's got a podcast. Before I take these calls, Rico's walking around like Eeyore, so it probably not.
oh no, really?
He was
I didn't.
walking
a little bit, I did notice a
walking
little
around
bit.
like this.
But there was a slight slump.
And like he's not, and I love when he doesn't stop in because that means it's not good. He's
Well,
not-
last week he didn't stop, and it was good.
He's doing.
he's not doing it
I
right
think he's
now.
doing house. He's not doing house.
No, he's not doing it right now. That's
Oh,
why I
no.
know it's not
Oh,
good
no,
because
no.
he would have stopped in like all happy.
I just asked if I got a text fast.
Let me know.
Yeah.
John, what's going on, dude?
Hey, long time no hear, fellas. We're hopefully going for the streak that continues for 3-0 on Wednesday calls. I know it's been a couple weeks,
Love that.
but we have to go back. Can you hear me or no?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, here.
Oh, never mind. All right, good. Just making sure. You know, you never know at this point with technology. The 3-0 on picks, we have to go back to what we truly love and what we know best. Fat bastards and running the football. On a beautiful Saturday in Champaign, Illinois at 3:30. Illinois, Purdue, under 49. Purdue stinks. I like Illinois' defense a lot. This just feels like a game where Illinois is going to keep running the ball, 30-0, 28-7, something in that vein. I don't see Purdue scoring 14 points. If Illinois scores 50, you know what? Shame on me. If that happens, what are you going to do? Also, by the way, shout out to that Kansas City fan. That guy is an idiot. The Yankees are going to go win this in 4.
Love that. I love that, John. I like the bet too because I
Love the pick.
I bet on. I watched Purdue last week.
Yeah, they're atrocious.
Wow, they are bad.
I mean,
I bet on them too. I was like, this
I
is
did too.
awful.
Actually, they lost like 66-7 to Notre Dame. I mean, they got blown out pretty bad by, or not bad, but I think they lost by like 10 or 14 to Oregon State, who's like,
Didn't they lose to
Not great.
Wisconsin last week?
yeah, they got
Like
annihilated.
50? Yeah.
50 something to 14. No, they might be the worst. They might be them or Mississippi State are probably the 2 worst Power 4 teams.
Hey, Yankees. By the way, that caller, the Royals caller, was not an idiot. He's defending his team. I'm gonna have that guy's back. If he came in and was like, "Oh, the Yankees are gonna beat us," that's
Royals guy
pathetic.
didn't say much.
I think he defended his team. I like the Royals guy.
That's what he was doing. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't hate him. I don't hate the
No,
Tom.
I like.
He was a nice.
I like that
He
guy.
was a nice fan.
Yes.
Let's talk to Nikki C. What's going on, Nikki C?
Hey, Martin, how you doing?
How we doing?
Hey, Christopher, biography, good work. Keep it up, all right?
Thank you. That's Kirk's idea. I love doing it.
Oh, you love the yeah.
Poor Nikki C.
At least he
No,
got that in.
Can't hear.
Thank you,
Nikki
Nick.
C.
You know, what a legend.
Oh, wait, I hear you now. What were you saying?
I said I didn't know Marty's got a brother. I was just scrolling Twitter. I see Nikki Cahill as a dog.
Yeah, I love
Mush.
that. Nikki Mush. He's the boy.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I don't know government names.
No, Cahill's
Terrence.
fine. Everyone knows my last name.
Yeah, Terrence Mayros. Shout out one time.
Oh no.
Everyone knows that one too.
Yeah, I think so.
Everyone
I think that's pretty out there.
What's going on,
Yeah,
Nikki?
real quick, I think Steven was a little nervous there, just like the Royals are going to be today. All right, don't be too nervous, Yankees. But Judge, we need Judge to show up today. That's
Yeah.
all I'm going to say.
He does.
Hey,
He does.
He's a legend. I'm not going to get on, but he needs to show up today. And Meek, I'm about to hit Chick-fil-A. Should I get the nuggets or the sandwich?
Sandwich.
Thank you.
What,
So, Matt,
spicy or original?
Always
Spicy
spicy.
deluxe meal.
Love it. Always.
Large with a Diet
Man
Coke.
of class.
I appreciate it, Nikki. I love that.
Lux is
Make
a
sure-
man of class.
Make sure you get 2 for
Have
lunch.
cheese on it.
One to
Asking,
snack, 2 to meal.
asking Meek Phil what to get for lunch is my favorite.
Oh, Meek's word was gospel. The second he said sandwich, done.
Sandwich.
Our boy Moisty. What's up, Moisty?
Moisty.
Was that your imitation of me?
Yeah.
The Bengals season is over, fellas.
Yep.
It is fucking devastating that this team has scored 155 points and we're fucking 1-4.
That's crazy.
We scored more points than the Vikings. Like, it's just,
They're making the playoffs.
Yeah, they are.
I was like, fucking not, Smitty. Clemmer fucking bet on them. We're not doing shit. Can I just
You seen my record? They don't have it there on the thing.
Shut the fuck up, Clemmer.
I believe in your team.
When I said, Clemmer, last year that Jake Malasek misspelled the spelling of Dave's bet, what happened? We lost to the Texans because fucking Tyler Boyd drops a pass. Then Joe Burrow gets hurt. And what happened this year? 1-4. You're a fucking jinx, man. I fucking hate you sometimes.
Let's go Mets. Let's go Mets.
Why the fuck do you not believe in jinxes? The Bengals are 1-4, and you think they can make the playoffs? You fucking must our season, you idiot. Why? If you think they can?
Well, I took them when they were 1-3. You fucking moron. So they already sucked. That's why I grabbed it. Because it was plus money. Worry about your own fucking team. Don't worry about me being a jinx.
Clemmer, it's not that you're a jinx quote. It's that you don't believe in this shit. You're a fucking idiot. You never played sports. You never played
I mean,
sports.
I
There's no fucking
did,
way.
but I mean, I didn't go very far. I doubt neither did you. Or else, I mean, wait, the whole thing of like you didn't play sports.
I actually believe in this type of shit. That
All right.
matters.
Well,
I hope to God the Mets lose today. I fucking hope. to
Yeah.
God they lose.
Well, now you know what? Now I hope the Bengals. Now I hate the Bengals now because of you.
Oh, do you now hate the Bengals that you already bet on them? You
I
probably
bet on them. Because I believe in them. Are you mad at Dave? Didn't Dave bet on the Bengals?
That was last year when they misspelled Cincinnati when I called in.
And that's why the Bengals lost.
Yeah.
Say yes.
Oh, he ended on accident.
I mean, also,
I think he was
Cincinnati
so
is
angry.
the stupidest spelling of all time.
I mean, that's
I'll
just-
gladly misspell
Also,
it.
very, very, very funny that he clarified. You're not a jinx. You're just an idiot.
That's fine. That's fine. He might not be wrong.
Funny thing is,
that was funny. That made me
funny
laugh.
thing is, Moisty's usually very calm.
He's very upset about his Bengals. So
They're not
does he-
going to make the playoffs.
Does he? I think they are going to
the
make the
Bengals
playoffs.
season
No, they're not.
is this Giants.
Why do you? Why
If they
though?
beat the Giants on the road, they're back. If they lose, cooked.
Why?
They're
though?
like this every year, though.
Well, I know that
usually
I know
the 1-4
Moisty thinks I'm an
bad.
idiot, but I can count a little bit, and they're only a game and a half out of the wild card right now. There's no dominant. So they're right there.
But bro,
I think
you
they can
have
make up a
to-
game and a half in 12 games.
Even if they beat the Giants, they're
Okay.
letting up 38 points a game. It's like it's. They
So
let
here,
up-
but here are the next games. So
they've
let's
scored
look at the
38
schedule.
If you score 38 points, you should never lose another.
I understand. So at Giants, I think that's a win.
I
It has to be, or else they don't make the playoffs. Then you're
I don't know
right.
if it's definitely
At Browns, okay. So now all of a sudden they're 3-4. Like, all right, now we can play with some stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like the path isn't. It's still. We're in fucking October. It's not. The season's not over, guys.
If you look at if percentages of teams that go 1-4, it's not high.
Of course, but a lot of those teams are like the Panthers and shit. Like most teams aren't teams that went to the play. I want to see a stat of teams that went to the playoffs the year before.
They didn't go.
They didn't go playoffs the year before because Burrow's hurt. I want to see a team that had maybe a winning record the year before and how they 1-4. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of different
defense. It's just their defense is usually better.
Defense has been horrible.
Defense is really bad, which is a problem.
I mean, the offense. They're scoring a ton of points. It's just the defense.
But they also just lost to the Ravens, who are really good.
That I think it just they were up 10 in the fourth quarter. Like
they
were up 10 in driving. They were like on the Ravens like 30 or like 30, 35 yards, and they basically put the game away.
Giants, Browns, Eagles, Raiders. Eagles are a good team for sure, but they have their own issues. Like,
no, they're not.
Like they could go 4-0 in that stretch.
They could. They definitely could.
So then they're 5-4, and then they got this fucking moisty turtle guy screaming at me. It's like, all right, well, let's look at it analytically for a second instead of jinxes. For a second, let's look at things how they really are, facts. And the facts are they still.
Let's look at Trot Nixon.
But you're not saying. But you're also just saying facts. You keep saying nothing about when I say the defense is.
Defense
really
has been horrific.
bad.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, but like that's why they're losing. It's nothing to do with Joe Burrow can be the best he can be. It doesn't even make. They're not winning even when he is the best. He was unbelievable.
They've also faced really good offenses. They faced the Chiefs, the Commanders, and the Ravens.
And the Patriots.
But they didn't give up a lot of points.
That's the one that stings. That was the only one their offense played bad.
Right.
Offense played bad the Patriots game. They played good all the other games.
And if you're talking about a playoff team, they got to beat the Commanders. They have to. And they didn't.
The Commanders might be.
Commanders are winning the
game. The Commanders are good.
I understand, but the
Commanders look really good.
It's the Patriots game. That one and I'll tell you the Ravens game. You're up 10 with the ball in Ravens territory in the fourth quarter, and you lose that game.
Their win total's 8.5. That's not bad at all.
No,
well, considering they're 1-4. I mean,
but if
they're going to be
they're going to lose. They're going
to
lose because of a jinx.
They're probably still going to. I don't think. I didn't have them making the playoffs at the beginning of the year. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
Sure, you didn't.
I don't think they're going to.
Yeah, but it was a wild card. I still think
they still got to play They still have to play the Ravens one more time.
They do.
Still have to play. I think
they have the Browns twice, though. They have the Browns twice.
Yeah, but they have the Steelers.
A crazy thing too. The Browns have owned Joe Burrow. It's kind of wild.
They have the Steelers twice. Excuse me.
They were plus 140 to make the playoffs. This feels like the Bills last year, but earlier.
I agree with that.
Not an awful take.
So it's early in the week, but the Eagles are minus 8.5 against the Browns. The Browns are shitty. The Eagles are having problems. They're coming over a bye week. It's a historical stat in the first however many weeks where basically anybody who is minus 7 or more has lost, right?
Yeah.
I believe it's after the Chiefs game because they covered. They were like 5.5. They covered. I believe underdogs of 5 or more are 19-6-1 against the spread, and have won quite a bit of them outright.
Yeah, I mean you have Washington over Cincinnati,
Giants,
7-point favorites.
What was last week?
There's been a
bunch, like 8.5 to 10. Ravens,
the Cardinals.
Ravens at home to the Raiders.
Cardinals 7.5-point dogs went outright. Yeah.
All these survivor pools.
Rams,
they're done.
Rams beat the Niners. They were like touchdown dogs, I think, something like that.
This has been the quickest year of survivor in the long.
Oh God,
unbelievable.
Let's take this last call, Jared.
Giants have twice. The Browns, they were 6.5-point dogs too. The Giants have done it twice.
Crazy.
Hey, am I on, boys?
What's up, Jared?
Hey, what's up? I just want to talk about the Tigers real quick. Well, first of all, to answer your question, most boring World Series would definitely be Cleveland. That most boring city, no aura, no one talks about that state or city anyways. So, but Tigers are winning today. We're going to win that series. I think the value on betting them on the American League is perfect right now. But, yeah, I just wanted to bring up that creature, Ohio's Tate or whatever, Ohio's Taint, whatever he calls himself. We're going to shut him up this week, and I'm looking forward. I want the Yankees, so beat the Royals, but we'll see you guys in the American League.
Be careful what you wish for, but I like it. I like that, Jared. I like that a lot. I like a confident Tigers fan.
They're winning. They're hot. Tigers are red hot.
I'm like rooting for the Tigers too, so I'm with you.
I am too.
Yeah, we make no sense, and I'm not a numbers guy, and that's why I love them even more. We make no sense. We're chaos. No, I mean the Yankees. I just it'll be a fun series. I think
definitely would.
I mean, and it's like been a decade and a half since we've been in the playoffs, anyways. But so the teams I'm talking about, I just feel like Tigers Yankees has always been like a fun series. So
nobody, I can tell you this: nobody wants the Royals and the Tigers in the next round either.
I know Fox doesn't, or whoever TBS.
Fox is dying for the Yankees to win this series.
But yeah, I just want to shut up that guy, that Ohio State, so bad. So bet the money line, and then free pick, just Lions money line and Gibbs to score this weekend. We're fucking up the Cowboys too.
Love it, Jared.
Might be Kelly Keege's favorite caller of the day.
Ev, start us off with your picks today.
So yeah, I'm on the under in the Tigers game. Tigers got under 7. I'm on the Mets money line. I'm just riding this hot team at home. I think they closed it out today. I like the Yankees game over. I think we get runs there. The Yankees have hit better on the road. The Royals have definitely hit better at home. So I like the over there. I'm riding the Padres again. I think they close it out. And the under in that game. I know there's been so many runs, but I'm gonna go under there. And then little for the college football sickos, we're on New Mexico State plus 21, and the over 58 in New Mexico State, Jacksonville State.
I'm on the over in the Guardians game of over 7. The Mets line opened up at minus 120 Phillies, and now it's
plus 100. I got a plus 100.
Yeah, I took it plus 100 last night.
This says it's opened. I don't know. I'm looking at something that says opened minus 120.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what it opened, but
opened minus 120 Phillies. Now it's minus 120 Mets.
I see what you're saying. Right. Yeah. No, we're seeing the same thing. It was minus 120. It was plus 100. Yes.
Yeah. It's just changed.
I'm sorry.
And I'm going with the Mets there, and then I'm going with the Yankees. Yankees minus 115. Clemmer.
I'm on the Mets money line plus 100. Over 7.5 Phillies Mets. I'm over 1.5 earned runs allowed by Ranger Suarez. It's minus 140. I'm under 12.5 outs for Ranger Suarez, minus 135. I'm on the Tigers money line and the Padres money line. I just think we have to get to Ranger early. That has to be the game plan. Hopefully it happens.
One bet. Phillies plus 1,000 to win the World Series. If they win today, they're going to win the World Series.
Love it. I love it.
And you're not going to find any better odds. And that's at DraftKings.
Ever. That's exactly.
Like, that's it.
It's the time to do it.
Yeah.
Like that. If they win tonight with Wheeler on, and don't use Wheeler
in Philadelphia,
it's going to go from a plus 1,000 to what? Plus 300?
Yeah, probably.
Think so?
Maybe even less.
Really?
I'd say 300.
Yeah, you might be right.
I think 300's right.
Maybe 400.
The Padres look pretty good, I guess.
They were 500 like towards the end of the season.
Okay. Yeah, probably 400 then.
Yeah.
Last before we go, one guy did tweet at us, random Yankee, and I love this too, Ruben Sierra.
Great one.
Ruben Sierra.
Good one.
Second MVP voting with the Rangers. Had a very long, interesting career.
I also loved Raul Mondesi.
Rookie of the year with the Dodgers.
But yeah, that's the show.
By the way, the poll, 1,000 votes. Aaron Rodgers, 64%.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. That's actually a losing poll for you.
No, it's a winning poll. Aaron Rodgers, 64%.
I thought this is where I thought like 65 to 70.
Those aren't all ball knowers either. But watch the stream tonight at 5 for the Mets, Phillies, and the Yankees will be in the background when our game starts at 7. Yaks up next.